Hi Team 21 Day. I just want to say thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting. I've been hearing a lot of wonderful comments on the program. And listen, one thing is, if you don't hit a day, don't worry. Go back, do it later. If you're not feeling that day, like you're not feeling hit that day, that's okay. Go to another day. Maybe you want to do ball or bar. So keep with it. You guys are doing amazing. I'm proud of you. Today we're working on the shoulders. You have two girdles in your body. You have a shoulder girdle and you have a pelvic girdle. These two girdles help hold the spine together. However, both of those girdles work with ball and socket joints. So we're gonna be working with the shoulders with light weights, please. I don't like anything for shoulders, especially for women. You guys can use a little heavier weights. Nothing more than maybe 7.5 max. 5 pounds, 2 pounds are best. The best thing you can do is work the eccentric motion, the concentric motion, which is primarily working the primary muscle, and the eccentric is fighting gravity. So you want to use both so we can use primary and secondary movers. You guys stick with me. Team, I'd just like to add really quick that if you're experiencing any clicking from a little slight external rotation, we typically don't take the shoulder past the frontal plane. But if you're feeling a little clicking as you take it a little wider, try to keep those arms a little more toward the midline of your body. So if we're doing a pec deck and we bring the arms in and we open, you don't have to open all the way, okay? Keep that in mind. Okay team, we are starting with a lateral raise as a warm up. So I'm going just a tiny bit heavy, but that's me. I'm used to working shoulders. Again, I suggest you use 5 pound weights, 2 pound weights, 3 pound weights. We're gonna only work with 8 reps. We're gonna take it up, only shoulder height. Remember, squeezing on the up and squeezing on the down. Next, we're gonna take it into what's called an upward row. You want to get those elbows a little higher. Make this feel good. Pull it up, push it down. We're gonna take it into next a flip up, and then you're gonna turn it for a shoulder press. Take those weights up above your head. Try to tap those weights at the top of the extension. And again, you wanna only pull down those elbows to shoulder height. This is a pec deck. Trying to keep those elbows up and squeeze those elbows together as close as you can. Working what's called, we got the pecs, 2 parts of the pecs. We got the pectoralis major, the pectoralis minor. We're trying to squeeze in toward the chest, the middle of the chest. This is the anterior delt, working the top of the shoulder, the front of the shoulder, and that axillary area, which is right underneath the armpit. Make sure that arm only goes to shoulder height. Next, we're going into what's called the rear delt. You're gonna keep those elbows right in at your waist and open up wide, feeling the backs of your shoulders. To what I call the rear, working way back toward the back of the arm in toward the back. Now, we're gonna go to this again. We're gonna turn the weights up. So remember I was talking about the ball and socket? That's what we're working. We're taking it to a lateral, turning the palms in on the up, turning them up, back down, turning the wrists down to the end. So up, turn, lift, turn facing, and then turn the wrists down toward the ground. We're gonna take it back into that upward row. This might feel a little good after you just did that exercise. Make sure you guys are feeling the upper back. To only 4 counts to the shoulder press. 4 counts to the pec deck. 4 counts to the anterior delt with both arms. I am using lighter weights during these, about 5 pound weights, to only 4 counts of the rear delt. to the rear. Really get those arms back behind you, squeezing the backs of the arms. Then the palms come up and you're going to press back for 8. Turning palms in toward each other, take it a little wider, squeeze toward the midline of your body. Take it back up for another 8. And bringing it back in for another 8. We're going to stretch really fast. Those shoulders get tired. So we want to fatigue them, yes, but we also want to stretch through. So I'm grabbing my wrist and pulling my body and my arm over to the other side. Next, we're going out for what I call the wingspan. We're really engaging that medial delt into the top head of the bicep. You're pressing both arms out, bringing both elbows in towards your waist. In opposition, we're taking those knuckles together and pressing toward the outside. Back again, pressing out and then to the other way. So again, ball and socket joint in that shoulder, nice and strong. Moving it into hands behind the back. So you have quite a bit of external rotation on that shoulder. You bring your hands in back towards your waist, and we're doing the same thing that we just did in the front, in the back. You can tell you're pulling in and pressing out through the rear delt. Also getting some traps, some rhomboids, and then we're going to move it from side to side. This is with a tube. You can do this with a lightweight. This is an anterior delt across the body. It can be rather tough with the tube if you have just a little bit of tube that you're working. So give yourself some grace on this and just lift up nice and tall. Again, raising the arm in front and squeezing hard on the return. Now we're going to open that arm up, press it out and in with the tube. Switching sides. If you're using the tube, you may find that you need to change it and give yourself a little more room to lift up and down. Anterior delt across the body. The goal is to work on the down as well, working through the upper back. Then pressing out to what I call the wingspan. We're pulling that elbow in toward the waist and pressing out with the hand. This just for my extreme people. We're going to take it into a squat and a full-on overhead press with the tube. This is just a tough move. If you want to go to a little bit of a heavier weight on this particular exercise, I encourage it. But if your arms and your shoulders are too tired, go ahead and just keep the light weights going. We only have 8. Good job, you guys. Give yourself a quick stretch. We're going to cross that arm across the body. Push that shoulder down as you stretch. Switching sides. Push that shoulder down as you stretch. Take both arms up above your head. Clasp your hands together, and you're trying to get those arms behind your ears, reaching full through external rotation of the shoulder. Last stretch. Arms behind you. Clasp them together. Open up the chest and reach those arms behind your back. Good work today, you guys. And that's it. Be fit.